just break into anyone's protections. They can break into timelines. They can break into the future. That's part of their time travel. And I was getting messages today that the election is no longer safe if we do not abolish these types of technologies, because these technologies manipulate time and space, which means we are no longer in control over what happens. Okay? That means that we as humans no longer will have a voice. That means we as humans can no longer place a vote, because it means that we are all in some way owned and programmed at that point. Okay? If we break everything down, we are essentially a code. Okay? We're all number codes. Okay? And so if the enemy has broken into the genetic codes of humanity, at that point we just become an algorithm, okay, that they can place into a computer system. Now, we have been seeing this for a really long time, happening right before our eyes. But the thing that is so stunning is how blind people are to this weapon and to this warfare. But if they have that in control, which they do, and they have these types of advancements, they have DNA technology, okay? They can put DNA technology at any crime scene. They could slap somebody else's DNA onto a crime scene, okay? They have these technologies now. So then what happens to our justice system and what happens to our election system, okay? I know a lot of people who are on the left, when they found out that Donald Trump was running again for the presidency, it was like, there's no way, like, he's never going to get in. That's never going to happen. Now, let's fast forward now, okay? We fast forward, whatever, 3 to 6 months. Who's the only Republican candidate on the ballot now? Donald Trump. How many indictments has Donald Trump had? Why is Donald Trump not in prison? Because there's a system that they, okay, have manipulated and put in place so that they own the world, okay? And they put a lot of money into space technology, space intelligence, into DNA technologies, labs, and they have been doing human lab testing, okay? I'm one of them. I'm one of the people that they human lab test on. They piggyback off of my energy. They break into my energy and they steal from me. They steal my energy. They steal my money. They steal everything, because once you're in somebody's energy, they no longer have the protections that they once had, okay? Once you break into somebody's DNA, you can then infiltrate them. You can infiltrate them on a cellular and a molecular level, okay? This goes down to, I was talking about this with the DNA. I kept getting messages that they were working on a heart conglomerate, okay? Well, that's breaking into the heart. Those are the heart codes, okay? There was a lot of talk about the vaccine having bioluminescent trackers in it, okay? The vaccine. Now, how much information is coming to light around the vaccine, okay? And if there is some type of an alien technology that was in the vaccine, then how many of us have now been infiltrated by alien technology, okay? Alien technology is a weapon. And this is the stuff that people have yet to awaken to, but it is all around us. And once that energy is in your system, you are now infiltrated. And down to your biology, they can literally reprogram your entire life, okay? So we have to look at this from a different perspective in terms of what this means for our democracy, okay? Where is the democracy? Where would justice be if they can just program new timelines or manipulate who actually wins? They can literally take a person who is divinely meant, okay, to be the leader of the free world. They are meant to be the leader of the free world, and they will slap their DNA on Donald Trump, okay? And Donald Trump then will have their DNA, and then he's gonna win the freaking election, okay? Like, they will just program it so that, you know, certain states vote a certain way. They'll just program they'll just program all of the numbers, guys, like as if we're not even humans, but as robots. They will even make it even program us through MK Ultra to freaking vote a certain way. Okay, that's the level of this warfare. And it is a warfare. And I always talk about it on my channel, because the minute I had heard about these top secret docs, okay, that went missing and that came up with at Mar-a-Lago, and there still was other docs that were missing, and people were saying it was the nuclear docs. I immediately got images of like T squared, like I was getting like what is it called, like I was getting what it looked like, the messages, like I kept seeing images of, what is the science? I'm trying to think of the science where it's like squares and everything. Like I was seeing triangles and shit, and I was getting like messages around universal laws, like law of Newton. And when I was seeing those images, okay, when I was seeing that, I was like, oh fuck, like we are fucked, guys. Like we are fucked. If they got an algorithm that was pulled from our nuclear docs, okay, or some type of a God, it's like escaping me right now. I don't know. It's probably intentional that it's escaping me because I'm probably not supposed to talk about that. You know what I mean? But it felt like on that level, like on a mathematical, scientific level, that there could have been information in there that would probably, we would not want to go into Putin's hands. Okay, like we would not want this to go into the enemy's hands, because once they got that information, they could essentially break in to the genetic codes and you know, mess with the algorithms or mess with the science of the universe or the laws in some way. Like, and that was what I was getting a lot of messages on my channel. I kept talking about the universal laws. I've talked about it on Patreon a lot with my Earth team over there, and on the angel tier. We have had a lot of discussions around the universal laws and everything that was going on. So I just kind of was getting these messages that the election at this point is potentially already rigged, okay? So why would this come forward now? Because we have to get in front of this, okay? We have to get in front of this. We have to get in front of the technology, because these people already believe our democracy ended. They believe it has ended, okay? And so we now have to rise within this information. We have to put our brains together. We have to realize how important it is, okay, that we get the correct information and that we align to the truth and we really understand what has been going on, okay? So let's go into the election reading. So I'm just gonna clear a channel right now to my spirit team of the highest love and light energies. All right, so God Angels, messages in regards to the upcoming presidential election, 2024 election. What are the messages in regards to the election being rigged? What are the messages coming in right now around them? So I have the Hangman reverse, which just means maybe some information is gonna come in, because these space technologies are dangerous. Okay, you cannot have this advanced technologies for Earth, okay, because it's not designed for that. So they're getting these technologies from other planets, okay? That's where they're getting them from. They're working with aliens, okay? There are a lot of groups that have their own aliens. And Dr. Greer, he talks about this all the time, okay? And there's a lot of information about these black op programs with these aliens that are, they're, underground, deep-seated, and they're experimenting on aliens. And it's global. It's everywhere. And when they are going in testing, they're testing on these aliens, and they're doing lab rat experimentation on them. They are learning how to pull their energies or their advanced technologies and how to weaponize them. That's what they're doing. They're weaponizing it against us. But they're too advanced for our planet, okay? Because they come from a higher intelligence planet. So if we are messing with a species or race or energies from another planet that don't match our vibration or our energy, then we essentially are weaponizing that against our world, okay? Where it will end up destroying our world. And we have to come to light around all of that stuff right now. So we've also had some whistleblowers. I know, it was David Grosh came forward as well. He was a Air Force whistleblower. And then trying to think who else. Well, Project Bluebeam is what Dr. Stephen Greer talks about very candidly. And there are whistleblowers who won't come forward because they their lives would be threatened. I believe that I'm part of that same network where with the same kind of technologies where they go after you with those same exact technologies that they weaponize against you. So if you do come forward or you speak out, then your life is put in jeopardy. But they are literally controlling us and programming us, and they have the technology to do so. Now, I have often questioned free will, okay, and questioned sovereignty, how they could break in and actually take that from someone. But they can go into people's energy fields, or they can weaponize and use these alien technologies so that there is another source of artificial intelligence that's in your energy field, okay, that essentially would block you. I was getting messages around receptor blockers as well, because all of us have what's called almost like an antenna on our head, and that's how we attract. That's how we attract in money, prosperity, and all of that kind of stuff. But I was getting messages that they were blocking that from us. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting thing, because if they can block and put some type of receptor blockers on us, okay, on our DNA, they could slap it on, okay, then where does our manifestation come in? How would we come into our divine unions? Like, how would we come into a place where we are actually on our divine path? You know, if we're being blocked energetically and psychically, and you know, how would we be able to bring in what we're meant to bring in? How do we get into alignment at that point? How do we recalibrate with nature, okay, so to speak? So I think that these are the things that we really have to start shining a light on. So as far as the election stuff, I'm getting the 10 of Cups coming in, and then I have the Knight of Pentacles reverse. So this to me shows me that there is something already probably in place that's underground that we wouldn't know about, okay, in terms of how they would be doing something like this, or how there would be doing this. I was getting messages already that Stacey Abrams's election was rigged, okay, the one where I don't remember what year that was, 2018 or I don't remember what year that was, but I was getting a message that when she had lost the election, that she was actually supposed to win that election, okay? I was also getting another race that came up, Dukakis was the other one, that he actually was supposed to win that race. So right now it feels like this technology, it might have already existed, okay? It might have already existed, but it hadn't and it might have went into testing in certain times, okay? To manipulate timelines or to manipulate situations, but I feel like it went like rogue, you know, it went like total rogue in around 2020, okay, and 2021. So now that's what I feel is coming in really strong in terms of what is going on with our democracy. So we have the High Priestess coming in sideways, like flying out. This to me is like secret society energy, like all the way, like it coming out. It is like, we own the world, we run everything, we run the banks, we run everything, and this is our jam, this is our technologies, and we're gonna make sure we get what we want, kind of an energy. And it is all about power and control. I'm getting messages right now, this is like United Emirates energy is coming through right now. United Emirates is coming through with some red energy coming through. And then I have the Two of Pentacles coming in. Two of Pentacles. I'm just like seeing the boats, and I just feel like this is what's been going on, like with the Red Sea energies, with the Navy. There's something with the Navy that's been going on. I feel has been like, I don't know. Something was not right with the Navy. Something was infiltrated. I definitely feel like something got infiltrated with the Navy. I'm not supposed to say this for entertainment purposes only, okay? These were my intuition and my messages that I had felt really strongly. So perhaps there was an infiltration through some kind of foreign dignitary. It could be United Emirates. They might have the technologies that I'm talking about right now. They might have the access or something that is programming. And I'm getting something with water coming in really, really strongly as well. Something with water. Now, if you watch Frozen 2, they talk about the memory portals being in the sea, okay? And they were talking about if you cross the waters, I think she had to go over I don't remember if it was the Black Sea or something, but she had to get to the other side, and that was the memory portals. If you could break into the memory portals, you're breaking into the mind. They have done that. And I don't know if it is the Red Sea, because that's where the war has been going on between the U.S. and United Emirates, okay? And I know that there was a crazy battle going on, and I know that they destroyed, I don't know, 1 or 2 of our ships, I believe they hit. And I don't know if that's the sea. Like, I don't know if that's the sea. I would love to call Disney and go, hey, where are the memory portals? Because you mentioned them in Frozen 2. So can you let me know? I know they found them, but I was just curious. So it could be that it's linked to the Red Sea in some way. Maybe that's why. It's something with the ocean, man. I know it's just something with the water. So let me see here. So we're made up, mostly of water. So if you think about that, if they found some kind of portal, in the ocean, all right, then how would you be able to, it's like that connection to the ocean could essentially, I don't know, somehow, maybe there's a way that they use a technology or a hydrotechnology or something where it infiltrates us on a molecular level. I was getting a lot of this biomolecular warfare in terms of water molecules, like water molecules in terms of weather systems. Now, there was also reports that there was 2 weather weapons on the map, on a map they were not supposed to be on. They were showing up on another map. So, and I left that video in my community section, but they found 2 weather weapons. They're basically these weapons that I feel like they conducted some form of heat. One was coming out of Louisiana, and the other I feel like was California. And I don't know if it was Schriever Air Force Base was one of them, but it's one of those. They were talking about these weapons, and they can see the amount of energy coming off of the weapons. And it wasn't on like a standard map. It was coming in, I don't know what map it was coming on, that you would see these towers generating this type of energy. So that was what was coming in. So I don't know if it's in terms of, we've also had the China balloons coming through, right? We've had the China freaking weather balloons, like, cruising through the US, and we didn't think they were a problem, and now we're like, maybe they were a problem. So yeah, that was another situation. So, they're in our weather systems. They also broke into satellite systems with their Huawei technology, okay, which I've also talked about on here. And that hit, I want to say the infiltration was like, I don't remember, it's like 14 or 17 Air Force bases, okay, that the satellites were, I guess, affecting those Air Force bases. I can't remember the exact number because it's been so long since I've talked about all of that, but that's the energy of what's coming up right now in terms of our election, okay, in terms of our democracy, and in terms of where we are going as a nation, okay, in terms of how we have to get a hold on these technologies and these weapons that are in our air that could potentially be already in us because of the vaccine, because we were misled, because we weren't, given the information of what the vaccine was. And that never really came to fruition. Now it's come to light how many people in very high places lied about taking it, and they were taking like fake versions of the vaccine now. So anyways, very interesting stuff. So let me just see if there's any messages around this. Are we going to be able to reverse this on a justice level? Are we going to be able to reverse this energy? So I do have this coming in right now, Ace of Wands and Eight of Wands. Maybe we just have to get it out. Like, we have to talk about this because people might not connect the dots in the right places. Like, they might not know about all of this stuff, and maybe they haven't really connected the dots, but I focus on it all the time because I'm a victim of the warfare. So I'm constantly looking for answers and constantly trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So we have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So we have to get a hold on, it's almost like these portals, So I saw a very disturbing interview with Elon Musk, and he was talking about the portals that he worked on, and you can find articles on this where he was working on these portals with CERN, okay? And if you guys are not familiar with CERN, they are a very powerful company, and I think they have violated humanity and divine laws. I think they have definitely done that with what they have rolled out and what they have broken into, and they work together on portals. He has also come forward around time machines. These are not things that Elon Musk should be able to go near, okay? No one should be able to go near this stuff. I mean, it's not needed. There's no reason to have to go near this stuff other than to weaponize it against the country and the world. There's no reason for this information to go out because the people who are seeking it for the wrong reasons. That's why I don't understand why we have to put all this money into space or all this money into all of this stuff. A lot of people say, oh, it's defense. But it's like, I feel like it's more obvious. The people who are putting the money into it are the ones who are creating the weapons. They're the ones that are going after us. They're the destroyers. That's the group right there. The people that want to own space, they're the destroyers. They're not doing it for humanity. There's no reason. Like, at this point in the game, we already know everything we need, okay? We already have what we need. We have the technologies we need. We don't need any more technology. We are already at that. We don't need that stuff to be happy. Happiness comes from within. Dude, we'd be freaking happy just building campfires and chilling out and freaking dancing and shit. And we don't need technology to be happy. Now, that's a lie. That is part of the illusion we're breaking through right now. We don't need all the things that they have programmed into us that we need. So the ideas of like, oh, it'll make your life more convenient and you will connect more with people and it'll be easier to date and to do this and to do that. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. We have never been more detached from humanity because of this technology. I mean, it is like we are not connecting on a soul level because of technology. And now I feel like is the backfire. Now is the boomerang effect. Now people are realizing, oh, I want to really connect with you. I really want to feel that heart connection with people now. I really don't want to just have these shallow friendships and just be connecting through text messaging, because now it's become to a point where it almost like it outdated itself. Like we've already evolved that idea, but yet they're rolling out this AI and trying to make everything so fun. It's like it's gonna make your workplace so much easier and it's gonna be great, and biometrics is wonderful and you're gonna know exactly who the enemy is. It's like we have more crime today than we ever did. Like we have more crime, it's like we have more of everything. We have the worst mental health crisis now than we ever did because they created the mental health crisis, okay? We have more people with cancer today than we ever did because they created cancer, okay? Because they put chemicals into our food. It's like we have more problems because of everything they created. So they basically created an industry on shit. Like they created a shit industry illusion that went out to the world that just kills us, okay? And so we have to break through the illusion of technology is gonna save us and this and that. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. Nobody has to go to space, dude. We can freaking heal our planet, man. We can freaking heal it. Isn't that crazy? Like, oh my God. That's so amazing. Like we can actually heal our planet and not destroy it with nuclear weapons, It's like, oh my God, that's so like, oh, that's so cutting edge. But how would we make money? It's like we can't even like we can't even like get our heads out of our asses to figure that out. Like we can't figure out how to make money in new ways. Like new ways with sustainable resources. Like sustainable resources, like what a new concept. Like 2024, we don't even know what a renewable resource is. We're still pumping out plastics. Like that's our idea. It's like consumerism and plastics. Like we already know that plastic is no longer good for the world, okay? It is not good for the ocean. It's not good. But instead of us stopping putting out and pumping out plastics, we create a recycling program, okay? We roll out a recycling program. You can only recycle plastics so many times. And guess what? At the end of the day, the recycled plastics go to the fucking ocean. Like they go. That's where they go. They go to the ocean. So why are we recycling? It's a lie. Everything's a freaking lie. It's like, okay, glass, fine. Glass, okay, that's good, fine. We can recycle glass. That is fine. But plastic? Why are we pumping out plastic? Why are we still pumping out these freaking toy companies with plastics every day? Like all we're doing is pump it out, pump it out, pump it out. It's like we have no brain. Like we have no brain on the earth plane. Like honestly, it's like it doesn't make anything. Like our number one industries are like oil, weapons. Like we're run by Satanists. Like we are run by freaking Satanists. That's what we are run by. And there is just no advancements in terms of us downsizing, okay? Concepts of downsizing. It is illegal, okay, to have tiny homes in every state because there are certain rules that you have to go by. You have to put a tiny home on a lot of land, okay, that already has a permanent structure on it, okay? So if there's a home existing on the land, then you can put on a tiny home. But you can't just have a lot of land with a tiny home. So that's why there's all these kids in tiny homes on their parents' land because they can't actually have land with a tiny home because of the regulations of a tiny home. That is by design. Why wouldn't you want somebody to freaking have tiny homes that actually conserve energy? Why? Why wouldn't you? That's like, okay, all right, where's the brains? So we can't actually have tiny homes. And if you have a motorhome, okay, for example, and you have a lot of, okay, say you have a motor park, okay, and you have a tiny home motor park or whatever. So the tiny homes, they're above ground, right? They're not in the ground, all right? So you have the tiny homes on there. You can only live in that mobile park for 6 months out of the year. It has to be a vacation home. You can't live there full time. Okay? So just to kind of like give you an FYI in terms of living in these tiny homes. Now, maybe some states have actually worked on some of those regulations or mandates, but at this point in time, like that is legitimately how it is, okay? We are not even like builders are they're just knocking down shit, they're just knocking down trees, and then they're just building these cookie cutter homes with no yards in them. Instead of going, oh, maybe there's a need for tiny homes. Maybe people want more land. Maybe we turn their yards into farmlands, maybe there's so they can grow things. Maybe we do a more eco-friendly builder lot or builder plans. Like, you don't think like that. They're just like, oh, we're just gonna do the same thing over and over again. Like, let's just do the same freaking thing. It's like instead of working on the regulations, instead of working on the tiny home, maybe creating a structure that makes more sense, okay, that is more eco-conscious or eco-friendly. I didn't mean to go on a tiny home rant, but like in terms of our environment and where we're going, it is ridiculous. Like my daughter, she's in TK and she has homework. Like who has freaking homework in TK? And it's like they're already setting them up for this like regimen of like you have to have your homework and you have to, it's like so dumb. It's like you're so little, you're not even in a grade yet. You're not even in a freaking grade. Like you have all this homework, you have to have homework and all these standards. Like, she has to go through all these standards that she has to meet at her age. And it's like none of that even is gonna matter, dude. Like none of it. Like, where are the earth schools where we learn how to build things? Where are the schools where we're actually learning how to treat people with ethics? Where are the ethical schools, ethical classes? How about the schools that teach us how to make money off of things that are good for the environment? How about schools that help kids to grow and eat, grow food and do things that are good for the environment? Or helping us to really work on infrastructures and how we can recreate buildings and turn them into something else instead of us all going to the office every day? Why don't we work on freaking work hours not being 9 to 5 when our children get out of school at 2:30? Why don't we have work hours that match school hours? Like, why don't we do shit that makes sense? Because that's the whole point. That is the whole freaking point. It's like nothing makes sense. Like nothing makes sense. Like everything is working against us. Like there's nothing working for us here. It's like everything is a grind. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like it doesn't have to be that. It's like every year it's the same thing. It's like it never stops. So anyways, I guess right now this is stuff that we have to just bring to the forefront, okay? And we have to really start waking up in terms of who we are and what the hell we are doing. We're running off the same election platforms, and like Donald Trump's going back to like the freaking World War II, like 1940s, like dictatorship. Like that's where he's going because he can't even come up with anything that makes sense to his base right now because he doesn't know how to inspire people and he doesn't have a heart or a soul. He doesn't even know how to speak to people. That's how delusional he is. He just like probably reads off of cards like, oh, the dictatorship thing. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, fashionism. Yep, great. Let's go on that one. That's a good one. Like we can't even like freaking like go off script. Like that's how freaking dumb we look. Like robots. We look like programmed robots. That's exactly who we are right now. We're a bunch of programmed robots in terms of how we look, how we go out to the world, and how we feel. So anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys there.